Everyone, welcome back to Slasher Cast. I'm your host, Slasher. This is the podcast where we talk everything horror and nothing but horror. And I have a special guest today, a friend of mine, Twiggy the Tree.
Hello, everybody.
And today we just decided to talk about basically our experience with horror and all horror genres like games, movies, TV shows, what have you. Just have a discussion about all those different kinds of things and should be fun, I guess. But without further ado, let's get into it. So what's your favourite type of horror?
Always starting with the hard questions. My favorite type of horror. Well, into a lot of slasher movies.
Well,
That's not really my type of horror.
everyone knows mine because it's in my name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think psychological horror is the best for me. I don't need like fancy monsters or scary whatevers. I like the psychological horror. I think it impacts you on a much deeper level, like than visual. I don't really know how to put it. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I think I'd go with psychological horror.
Yeah, I
Kind
get
of
you.
create ambience and kind of spooks you in the back of your head rather than from your eyes point of view.
What annoys me sometimes with horror these days is that some horror films are just full of, like, not even horror films, like horror TV shows or games are always full of jump scares. That's what mainly annoys me.
Yeah, that's a little bit silly.
You're better off having a jump scare that's just, you might as well just have probably about two to three jump scares within any type of horror game, movie, or whatever, but having it have it evenly spread and have it actually make sense to be there. What film does that really well? Have you ever seen Woman in Black, the first film?
Yeah, I have.
There's a scene in that where you've got Daniel Radcliffe's character sat down, and the woman in black's behind him, and I think it's more to do with that. Every time it looks to her, she's closer to him, and that for me is kind of psychological horror. Like you said, is your favorite.
That's definitely more of the they're kind of building the atmosphere of you just you know that it's there, but you don't know exactly when it's gonna be like getting to the spooky.
Because that scene, I don't think she actually scares him. I think he turns around and she's not there. There's no like scare to it. It's just that she's walking up to him and then she just disappears. That just messes with you.
Good build up. That's kind of what I'm missing in modern games these days. A lot of the horror games that I play they are very reliant on cheap jump scares and your inability to be able to see anything at all. I mean, mind jump scares or in darkness, but when you have like darkness for the sake of darkness and jump scares for the sake of jump scares, they lose their point.
Yeah, I get you. There's another thing. Try playing Friday the 13th, the game. That is hilarious. But have you ever played Friday the 13th, the game?
No, I own it on the PS4, but I've never actually played it. I kind of went for Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. Well, the Friday the 13th, the game does rely on you to talk to other players. It relies on you to talk to them, but no one does. Only PC people do. When you play on PC, only people on PC do it. Talk in game. On Xbox and PlayStation, no one bloody talks. it's hard to do a video on Xbox version and have someone talk, 'cause they're even in parties with people, and it's really frustrating. Um,
You know that's kind of a problem I've had with like online multiplayer games for the most time. Um, if you don't communicate with other players, then the whole online experience kind of dies. I
yeah,
saw it a lot with like earlier days in World of Warcraft, for example.
yeah, I
All
get
the
it.
other players in the game are just in your way.
Mm,
They either steal your loot or kill the thing you need to kill or whatever, but they're in the way. You only need them for eating.
yeah, I get you.
Kinda
Um,
destroys the whole multiplayer feeling. But you know,
mm, yeah, people don't really care, really. Um, for me, I think it's the fact that I don't own many horror games. I've got Friday the 13th the game. I've got. You can't really call Gears a horror game, can you? I've got
it's like
Doom.
Gears of War.
I've got Doom. I've got Evil Within, and I think that's about it. But um, who is your right? I've got a question. Who is your favorite slasher, if you've got
That
one?
that that is a hard one. I mean, hmm, I don't really know.
I recorded a video today of my ranking for slasher icons. Just wanted to know what yours is. Like any really. Who stands out to you?
I think the best concept for a killer is not always executed that
Yeah.
well, but I gotta go with Freddy Krueger. I think
Hmm. Yeah.
the concept of his character is amazing. I really love the idea.
Even
It
the whole
really,
like part, pedophile part.
oh no, I'm not thinking about like the
Yeah.
like who he was before. I'm thinking of the
Yeah.
character it is with his
Cause in the original concept for Freddy,
insane
in the
frame.
original concept for Freddy Krueger, he was a pedophile.
Yeah, I know, and
But
they burnt him.
they got rid of it because of something that happened around the time of the film being made. But it was always like put in there as like concept, as it was always suggested that it was. But then when they made the remake in 2010, they just brought it in full force.
Because he was a child killer.
It was a yeah, it was child killer and a
He
pedophile.
was changed to a killer
Yeah,
without the.
Jackie. The only good thing about that remake is Jackie Earl Haley as Freddy. That's the only good part. The rest of the film sucks.
Yeah,
If you're gonna watch it, just watch it for him. Don't watch it for anything else.
yeah.
It's got good
Just like
concepts.
just like the only reason I watched Alien Covenant was for Fassbender. Only reason I watched it.
I went to the cinema to see Alien Covenant. I enjoyed it. I think it was good. Um,
I think it was kind of crap.
my favorite slasher icon is Michael Myers because unlike all the others, he's got no reason to kill. He's just born evil. That's what makes him more. He makes him more menacing and more of a threat than any other. Because he's not got like your typical revenge plot to him. He's got more of a if you're in his way, you're dead.
Yeah, he has more of a mindless skill set. There's
Yeah.
nothing like going on,
Mm. Yeah, he's got more of
whatever.
that. He's got more of that fact. That and what is it? Have you seen the new Child's Play film? The new one.
No, I haven't seen that yet. I was gonna get around to watch it. I don't really know.
I have actually seen it, and I enjoyed it. Um,
Okay, cool, cool.
it's it had the same characters obviously as the original, but it obviously changed Chucky so much. His origin is just is the reason that the Chucky doll, obviously it's a robot, goes haywire is that um I think it's is either Chinese, or it's like I think it's Chinese or something or Asian or something, I don't know. Um, but it's a guy in this like um warehouse building these dolls, and his boss gets pissy at him, and he turns off all the safety measures off one of the dolls, and then later on when the doll's shipped and gone, he jumps out of a window and dies after he does it. So he's just get a random kid a killer doll.
Okay.
That's the whole point. That's the whole reason that Chucky goes haywire. And the difference between the original and this one is in the original, Chucky went after Andy because Chucky saw Andy first when he put his soul into the doll, and he could only put his soul into the first person he met when he woke up, which was Andy. But in this one, he goes after Andy because they're best friends, and he starts killing people because they're in the way of them two being best friends. Which one do you actually prefer? Which one sounds much better?
I don't really know. I like the first one just because it's an old school kind of
Yeah,
horror vibe,
I get you.
and I think honestly the story sounds, but I do think I prefer the plot from the first movie in that case.
Yeah, but the new one is really good. Do you like the It film? Oh,
Yes, I did. It was
which one? Yeah, the new one or the old ones?
the new one.
Right.
The old one is good as well, but I have a phobia of clowns. So the
Yeah.
first one
Someone in
is
my family's got that.
is the first one is the scariest movie I've seen to this
Yeah.
day.
Um,
But
I can do a killer Pennywise impression from that film. Um, but there is a second film coming out.
yeah, no, I've seen the trailer. It looks promising. I just
Actually,
hope.
the trailer's dropping today. Like the proper trailer for it's dropping today.
Oh, proper trailer. I've
Yeah,
only seen one.
the trailer that they showed was like a teaser of one of its scenes. This one's like a proper full on trailer for it. Um,
Oh, that's cool.
it's dropping
Yeah, I
today.
gotta.
I found out this yesterday. Um, but they're also thinking about doing a prequel.
Okay.
They're on
Uh,
about they're on about doing
prequel could be kind of cool.
they said
This.
the prequel could have been. I watched this video yesterday from this YouTuber. I can't remember his name, but he said that he had an idea for a sequel to the second film where it would be the kids of the Losers Club go after Pennywise. But then he said that they've said that they're in talks of doing or thinking about doing a prequel, which would be when Pennywise first came to Earth.
Hey, that sounds kind of weird.
Because we do know that he was in the circus and he got his old clown thing from there and all that. Um, but I think it's the fact that I think that'd be a cool idea. Also, they're bringing back for the sequel, which is Chapter 2. They are bringing back the original cast, the kids, but it'd be more on the runs of the book, where you would be flashbacks with kids of the kids, and then flashbacks of the adults. Or not flashbacks with adults. It'll go to adults and kids. But my only problem is having the giant spider.
Yeah, that was weird,
Yeah.
even in the original one. So um, I wouldn't mind if they like just skipped that part
The
entirely and kind of.
reason the reason that they did a giant spider, I think it's in the book as well. The reason is because that giant spider isn't its true form. His true form can't be apprehended by the human mind. So when a human looks at it, they see a giant spider because it's the only form that they can actually, you know, like perceive. They can't perceive anything else. They can't perceive its true form because its true form is can't be perceived by humans. But I
Hmm.
think my only problem is that, as you know, all the Stephen King books are connected in the same universe as each other, with the Dark Tower being the whole center of it all. As in, I think it was what it Dark in the movie The Dark Tower that came out with
Boy, that was bad.
I didn't mind it. It was okay. It was a guilty pleasure, but it wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just in between for me. Um,
Yeah, I thought it was really, really bad.
they're doing a TV show.
I think that would do better.
They're doing
Uh,
they're doing a
some
TV.
stories just can't be told in a simple movie.
Yeah,
Not simple, but
they're doing a
you
TV.
need
Yeah, go on.
time to
Yeah,
actually establish everything. They rushed a lot of things in
yeah,
the
I get you.
that I didn't like.
Mm. But they're doing a TV show of it being like it's set in the same universe as the film, though. But
Yeah,
Pennywise,
obviously.
Pennywise was actually was referenced in the movie, because the kid sees this circus, and on one of the things it says Pennywise. So I think all these Stephen King movies that are coming out might be connected together for a whole big universe as one over, because they're doing all these remakes. They did a Pet Cemetery not a long time ago, but apparently that's really bad. Um,
I have not seen
Neither have I, but I've
the
heard it's
new.
not good.
Heard mixed things about it.
Yeah.
I
Have
don't
you?
really know. I like to watch things. I kind of make my own opinion.
Mm, have you ever
I did,
watched
but
uh, like any vampire werewolf horror? Yeah.
ooh, no, not
No.
really.
Oh. Have you
I
ever?
watched. I saw Underworld,
Yeah.
that entire thing, and the movies just got worse and worse and worse.
um, Underworld is one of my favorite movie series. I don't mind it. It did kind of get lower with each film, but uh, it's kind of that thing where it's your favorite series and then it goes lower. But have you ever seen Lost Boys?
Yeah, I have.
Have you
Ah,
seen? Have
now
you
I
seen?
remember. Yes, I've
Have
seen
you
it.
seen the sequels?
Nope.
They're really they're don't watch them. They're bad. They're not as good as the original. But I have
Surprised.
heard I have heard that they are doing a TV show for Lost Boys.
The soundtrack in my head. Deed,
Yeah, the soundtrack from Lost Boys is
deed, deed,
amazing.
deed, deed, deed,
In the
deed.
sequels for the Lost Boys, they just put the song. Um, what is it? What's the song again? Sister or something. And they put it in the sequels. They put it in randomly, just without warning. They just play the whole song like randomly throughout the movie, and it's just weird. Um, but they are doing a TV show of Lost Boys, but they have switched genders for the Frog Brothers. Now they are the Frog Sisters.
I don't really care about
Neither do
things like
I.
that.
Neither do I. That's what annoys me is when I see when a character is being, um, what is it? When people Because when I look all over the internet and a character's been announced, like swap, a gender swapped character, or a race swap character. Like, what can I take for example?
Ariel.
No, no, because no.
Aren't they
Uh,
doing a
MJ from
remake?
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
She was race flipped, technically, and people got angry over that. But I'm not, because I don't give a crap.
That's like that's like one of those problems that I've never understood why it's a
Yeah,
problem. It's like
same.
it's a,
It's there's
it's about the gender of the character.
yeah.
If the character is displayed properly and good, I don't really give two flying fudges on anything else. And Bird Box.
Bird Box. Oh yeah, the Netflix horror film where
Yeah,
if you see the thing, you
it
die,
drives you mad and you
and then
die.
people in real life decided let's do a Bird Box challenge.
Yeah, I know. And I hadn't actually. I watched the movie or
I've
so
actually not
ago.
seen it. I've actually
Garbage.
I saw
The film was shit.
I
It was like,
saw Dead Meat's. I think he did a kill count on it. Yeah, I think he did. I think he did a kill count on it, but I've watched his kill count. And I think I've watched
it
Foundflix do an ending explain on it. I just can't remember.
was like, it was. You have you seen The Happening?
Happening. Yes,
There, where
it is not bad as the happening. Nothing can be as bad as the happening.
well, Bird Box was basically The Happening, but with blindfolds. What's The Happening with
No,
blindfolds?
the problem with the happening is that it's just the fact that the acting in it is so
Acting
bad.
is Mark Wahlberg's acting in that movie is so weird.
You know, he doesn't act human whatsoever.
No, it's so weird. It's like one of his weirdest acting seen.
Yeah.
I saw Max Payne, and I think he did Max Payne
Matt Wahlberg is a good actor.
pretty
But
solid.
I think he just did the happening because he got asked it were a paycheck.
Yeah, but still, The Happening was such a weird movie, and it wasn't even logical. It
Yeah.
made no freaking sense.
Then they did
You
the
have one
sequel.
group you have one group who can be infected like 50 meters from the other, and they did not get infected.
Yeah, it's just basically it's a film about plants saying "f you" to humans and just murders every single one of them. There's also that stupid scene. Do you know when they go to this house and there's these two old women in it,
Yeah,
and one of them they're all like knocking on the door and all that to get in house, and they're all saying that these women are wearing gas masks, and one of them points a gun at a door and shoots this kid. I'm just there sat there thinking, what are you doing? Because
it's so weird. It was like, whoa, okay, unwarranted murder.
you just
Just
murdered a child. What are you doing?
didn't the other kid get shot as well?
Yeah. One of them
He
got
shot
shot.
both of
One of
them.
them got shot through door, and then one of them got
Someone got
shot
shot
through
through the window.
window. And I'm just sat there. I'm just watching this film and I'm thinking, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
Another film that has right. It's a good film, but has the dummiest ending I've ever seen. It's the funniest ending, not the dummiest. It's the funniest ending to a film ever. The Mist.
oh yeah, that's
That
the
ending
one
is
where
hilarious. That
he
ending is
shoots everybody in
funny.
the car, and when
I
he's
know
about to shoot
they're
him,
all sat in car. His parents, I think it's his girlfriend and his son, and he knows that they won't survive. So they're all looking at each other like, right, he's gonna shoot us. So he kills his. It goes off out of shot to shot car, and all you see is the muzzle
outside.
flash. All you see is the muzzle flash of the gun,
Yeah,
and it's four. It's three. No, three shots. And then it goes back, and you see the bodies, and you see him with the gun, and it doesn't work because he ran out of bullets. Gets out of the car, ready for a
The
monster,
military shows up.
ready for a monster to kill him. Military shows up and kills that monsters. And during that film, when you sat there watching this, you're thinking, how stupid is this?
I mean,
Because now he has to live with killing his whole family when they only had to wait, or when they could have just waited for like a minute or a few seconds for Army to show up right there and then when it happened. It's
yeah,
so
but he didn't know, but
yeah, it didn't
you know,
know, but it's
still,
still when you think about it
it's
as a
kind of a weird
movie, when
ending.
you think it as a movie perspective, it's just it's just funny to watch. That whole ending is hilarious. The TV show for Mist is a lot different though. It's not monsters in the TV show. There's no monsters. It's just people. It's just.
I kind of like that perspective.
It's not. I mean, in the movie,
Often when they make things like this, they always have to have
yeah.
this kind of monster thing or
Here's the
something
thing.
like that.
Here's the thing.
Monsters.
This.
You can do well without them.
Do you think a slasher could work as a TV show?
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
It all kind of depends on how you build it. I mean, you could not probably have like 18 seasons of it.
I guess you haven't watched Scream, the TV show Scream.
No, I haven't.
The first
I
two
really
seasons.
like Scream anyway.
I
Thought it was
that's
kind of
no,
boring.
I don't. For me, when people say to me that Scream is boring and like they don't get it and there's not really scary, and I'm always thinking you are dumb. Like if there, what annoys me, not I'm not calling you dumb. I mean, yeah, I get that you say it's boring because it's you know. Uh,
It's not my kind of movie. I'm not
yeah.
heavily into slashers, so
Well, yeah.
it's boring
For me,
because
slashers
it's
are
not
more. For
funny.
me, slashers are more scary.
Yeah, so
I'm not a
the
supernatural kind
most
of person.
slasher movies doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But for Scream, the whole point of it is it's
Uh,
satire. Scream is a comedy in the
yeah,
taking the
yeah,
make out of the genre that it is in. It takes itself seriously as well as taking the mick out of the genre it is in. That's the point
yeah,
of the film.
I know,
And
I
then
know that's what the movie works.
when people's most excuse is that, I'm sat there thinking, that's the point of the film. You've just explained why the film is that way.
I know, but it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I get why slashers are not for everybody, but um, for me, slashers are my favorite because it's not just that I grew up with slashers more. It's that supernatural horror is just so dumb. Like like Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger is a mix of supernatural horror and slasher, and it works.
It
Straight,
does.
straight, and so is my kind of Michael Myers and kind of Jason Voorhees and all that. But supernatural horror, like Paranormal Activity, which I hate. Paranormal Activity is terrible. I don't like
You know,
Paranormal.
that movie was just
Yeah,
bad. All the movies are
I
bad.
watched Paranormal Activity. I watched it with my dad when I was younger. Once we bought it from Blockbusters when Blockbuster was still a thing, and straight we put it in, watched probably like the first like 10 minutes, and we were like, "This is boring as hell," and we went back to Blockbuster and got a different DVD. So that's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. That's just how bad the movie was. We just got another one instead. Oh, that was
Paranormal activities. pretty bad.
Yeah.
Final Destination is also one of those like
Oh,
really
right.
bad
I'm
movies.
saying this. The first Final Destination's alright, but then the rest of them are terrible. First one's good, and then the
Mm,
rest of them are terrible. The first Paranormal Activity I saw was the one with the race car track, and then when I saw the original, I was like, yeah, this one's better. Then I saw all sequels. They're on about remaking Paranormal. They're thinking about remaking Final Destination. They're also doing a remake for Saw. If you've ever seen Saw,
yeah, I've seen Saw. I've seen
they're
all of
doing
them.
a remake for Saw, and Samuel L. Jackson's in it.
He's in everything.
Yes, I can't remember who it was. An actor comedian who came up with the idea for the film. I can't remember his name. He's worked with Adam Sandler before. I just can't remember the guy's name. I think he's got Rock on it under his name. Can't remember. I'm gonna have to search it, aren't I? Um,
Yeah, I can't remember that one either.
uh, does the Saw timeline kind of confuse you?
No, not really.
How does it not confuse you? It confuses everybody who watches it. Chris Rock is his name.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Chris Rock
I
is
find
Chris Rock is the
I
guy
find
who
the
came up with
timeline
it.
kind of weird, but it's not too confusing.
Yeah, right. Everybody. The thing is, no one can come up with a definitive timeline of the Saw films. No one's ever actually done it because they can't. The thing is, for me, the way I do it is that his hairstyle changes all the time. Jigsaw's hairstyle, John Kramer's hairstyle changes throughout the films, and with the new one with Jigsaw that came out, that confused it a bit more because there's things that they say in that, and there's things that happens in this about what happens and all that, and it just confuses the timeline a lot more. Um, but yeah, but Chris Rock is actually doing a remake with Samuel L. Jackson where he's also portraying. He's also the both of them will be cops. Both of them will be police officers, but I don't think. But no one's actually been cast as a Jigsaw yet.
Hmm. I wonder who to get.
I want Samuel L. Jackson to turn out to be Jigsaw.
I can see Fassbender as Jigsaw. That would be cool.
Fassbender.
I think that would be cool.
uh,
He's a good
uh,
actor.
Fassbender.
He's a really
Yeah,
good actor.
yeah. Kevin Bacon would be good.
Yeah,
But I
he plays
think
Voldemort.
for me,
That could also work.
for me, I think for me, the only for me, Jigsaw has to be an older person, a wiser person, because the whole point of Jigsaw is the fact that he lost his kid, that his wife got hit with a door, the baby died, him and his wife separated, he tried to kill himself, and then realized what he had to do. He started his traps to try and teach people to cherish their life. That's the point of Jigsaw, is to cherish your life. That's the reason he does it. If they keep this in the, if they have to keep that reasoning in this film, or it's just not going to work at all. In my opinion, it's not going to work. That and don't copy any traps or any kills, because that would be great. If I
Yeah,
swear,
but
as if I have to see another bear trap, I'm just not gonna be happy. Um, but
I think that's my main problem with Jigsaw as much as they've done, it gets kind of stale.
My favourite trap and kill in all the Saw series is definitely um has to be this one where there's this guy on this machine and he's strapped to it and basically twists his body around. Like his whole
Oh
body
yeah,
gets twisted, and that's my favourite because damn, that would hurt really goddamn bad. Oof. Like it twists his leg, it twists his other leg, twists his arms, and then twists his neck. And I'm just sat there like, that is so goddamn bad. Um,
like the popsicle lady.
hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah, the woman who gets iced to death,
yeah,
and
that
she
was
just melt, and
gruesome.
she just melting. Oh, oh god, yeah, I know what you mean. Ugh, that is bad. Um,
Being pushed into the syringes would probably not be nice
oh
either.
yeah, but she's on Jigsaw's side, so she deserved it.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Like in the film, you kind of know, kind of. If you haven't watched, if you ever never watched Saw, and it's your first time watching it, right? If it's your first time watching it, and you don't know if he has any accomplices or nothing, and then you see like that woman, like end up turning out to be his accomplice, you just like, okay. That's what I like when I was first watching. I was like, oh, did you have to do that? But all right. And then when you later on watch it again and again, you're like, oh, okay. She hates this cop. It's fine. Because she doesn't really want to do what John says. She don't really keep
Just
to his.
wants to
She
like kill
Yeah,
people.
she wants to basically do the traps, but don't have them have a way out. Her traps don't let people out, and I'm just thinking, that's a
Yeah,
bit, that's a bit stupid.
the
That's a bit stupid.
the scene that uh, or whatever her face was tore her rib cage open.
Oh yeah, yeah, that cop, that policewoman, the detective. Yeah, oof, that was grim.
What was her name, right?
I can't remember her name.
Movie.
I
I
know
think
who
her
you're on
name's
about. I know
Amanda.
actress, but I can't remember her name in that film. Um, Also, it's another thing. Um, right, another thing. Move on from Saw. Um, Jaws. Have you ever seen Jaws? Or like,
Yeah,
let's just talk about Jaws and Piranha. Have you ever seen Piranha?
yeah. Pretty silly. I've watched most of those. Like
Did you
uh,
hear? Did you hear what went into making Jaws? Like all the bad shits, all the bad stuff that went on while that film was being made.
no, I've not.
Like all the mechanical stuff that was going on, all like with the shark and everything, all the mechanical things that were going on just went up like a crap heap. Like there were problems with the shark, there were problems making the movie, and they also made a second one. When they made the second film, um, I think yeah, when they made the second, can't remember. When they made the second one, yeah, I can't remember what I'm saying. Right, if you've ever seen Piranha, the
Yeah, I've seen Piranha.
second film. Have you seen the second film with that? There's a guy in the first film who's a who's I think he's a detective. No, he's a guard for this water park. He lost his legs in the first film by the piranhas. In the second film, when the piranhas are back and he has to defend the park again, when he takes the sheet off his legs, and off it like he's in a wheelchair, he's got a gun attached to his legs.
Gun legs.
I'm just like, what? Eh? What?
Even a Barrett.
He's got like
But a gun like
he's got
shotgun.
like machine guns strapped to his legs, and I'm just like, how do you fire them? Like, how are you supposed to fire them? He doesn't even use his hands. I think they're automatic. It's just like I don't get it. But no, Piranha's just weird. Piranha's a weird film. But I think the premise for Piranha is much better than Jaws. Because at least in Piranha, it's more to do with that the military is the reason why they did it, why it happened. Because the military made weaponized super piranhas. Because why not? Why not?
Yeah,
And then they just got rid.
it was kind of like, uh, if you remember back in the days, there were very popular films, like
Yeah,
Jeepers Creepers and Eight Leg Freaks.
yeah. Leprechaun. For me,
Yeah,
when it comes down to slashers, uh, the I think for me, back in like the old days, what made slashers like that like mainstream thing was Psycho with Norman Bates with yeah, with that whole thing. Um, that's what made slashers great. But when it came to like with Halloween and all them being released, I think it was Halloween that defined what slashers were gonna be. Psycho kind of made it more mainstream, kind of made it more popular, but then you had Michael who started it off as more of a cult thing, as more of like they're becoming icons now.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I think is it a Halloween film? I don't know.
No,
I can't remember. No,
yeah,
it's not. Um, but
they are iconic movies. Everybody knows them.
yeah. But for me, it's the
It
fact
kind of
that
helped.
you don't get many slashers these days, which is kind of annoying because horror now is just supernatural horror. There's no slashers at all. Like we talked earlier about the Scream TV show. Um, the Scream TV show had 2 seasons that were owned by were on MTV but also on Netflix. Season 1, like first 2 seasons were great. Then they announced season 3, and season 3 was going to be a reboot, which really annoyed me because they ended season 2 with a cliffhanger.
Wait, they were rebooting the series?
Yeah, well, um, what happened was basically the first 2 seasons. Second season ended with a Halloween special, which was like an hour long. It were an hour long episode, like a movie, and it ended with it ended with a cliffhanger, but it started with a cliffhanger because in this film it's a different killer with a different mask and everything, different story, but um, but the killer from season 2 gets killed by another person wearing the mask, and they also had another thing where the original killer's uh, like uncle came back to town. I think it would have been his uncle or something because it said this name. If you haven't seen it, if you've seen it, you'll get what I know what I mean. It comes up,
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
audience. If you've seen it, you'll probably know what I mean. Um, it comes up with this whole thing, all this stupid crap, cliffhangers, and then it's a long movie. The killer from season 2 gets killed, and this killer, and then after season 2, a season 3 was announced. And then when the details came out about it, it was actually not going to be continuing on from the original story. It would instead, uh, it would instead be something else, different story, different actors, different characters, and all that. It never happened. And then this year, it was announced that season 3 would be released, and it's gone already. It will last week. I think no, it was this. It was even, I think it was this week. No, last week. I think I can't remember. Um, it were a 3-night event, 2 episodes per night, so 6 episodes, and people. They brought back the original Ghostface voice actor in a mask. The story was weird. Some of the characters were okay, but what annoyed me in most of first 2 seasons is the fact that they didn't continue the original story, because season 3 wasn't done by MTV. It was done by I think it was American. When we got VHS1 or something. But you know, TV is just weird when rebooting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, most most rebooted stuff is kind of crap, and
Mm,
we're not really seeing anything new
yeah,
there these days. It is kind of meh.
yeah. Films these days are nothing new. Well, have you seen Happy Death Day?
Yeah.
That was a good slasher. The first one was a good slasher film. It was a new killer and all that, and then the second film turned into a sci-fi movie. Wasn't
Hmm.
even a horror film. Like the killer. There was no point to having killer in that film, in that whole movie. There was no point. There was no point to have a killer in that movie at all. Because I was just really frustrated with that film, because there was no point of it. Because the killer had no point to be there other than the original. The killer made more sense in the original because they showed the killer a lot more. But in the second film, it was more to do with the fact that the girl who was living the day over and over again just had to get on with it. You know, it's just frustrating how things work out. But yeah, I think with Halloween 2018 and Halloween 2020 and the new Child's Play film, I think slashers are making a comeback. And I, and I for
Yeah.
one, I am goddamn glad. The thing is, Don Mancini, who directed the who makes the Child's Play films. I mean, the Chucky series. He let's just say wasn't happy with the remake of Child's Play. He wasn't happy at all because his series hadn't ended. Have you seen Cult of Chucky?
No.
They did Curse of Chucky, which was a breath of fresh air from Seed, because Seed was terrible. They did Cult, and then they did Curse of Chucky, which was basically a fresh air to the series, and then then they did Cult, and then Don Mancini is now announced. Well, he announced a while ago that he's no longer going to be doing. Um, there's no longer going to be movies of Chucky. There's no longer his movie series is no longer to go on as it was. Instead, it's going to be a TV show from Cult, and I don't know why.
Hmm.
Why I would have been fine with you continuing as films, or even just give the reins to the new film, because the new film was brilliant. Um, but
Oh, I
yeah,
kind of want to see more of Guillermo del Toro. See
uh,
him work on something he made like he's older. Labyrinth was freaking amazing.
Labyrinth. Yeah. Um, but
I
I think.
really like Pan's Labyrinth. It was
Mm,
not to be confused with the with Labyrinth, which was a
Yeah.
really weird. That
uh,
David Bowie is he the
yeah,
main
I
character?
think you just can't do the labyrinth without David Bowie. I just think you can't. You can't do it without him. He was the whole point of that film. It's like the only good thing about it, to be honest with you.
Crimson. He made Crimson. That was
There
pretty
was actually a
bad.
horror film I watched with James Franco in.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I think the ending was
I can't remember the film that I
great.
watched.
It was so. I mean, you could see the ending like in
Yeah.
it 20 minutes into the movie.
Have you right? James Franco is in this film I watched. I can't remember the name of the film, but basically it's about these people who go into a bank, right? And they're robbing this bank. James Franco is playing this guy who turns out to be the end of the film that is dead.
Okay, that
For,
sounds kind of interesting.
underneath this bank, there's an old bank where something happened. This guy robbed the bank and killed everybody in it. James Franco, basically, it turned out that anyone who robs this bank and goes to the bank underneath gets killed. No one in the bank, everybody at the bank later on finds out that this guy is dead. Right at the end of the film, when they point out who it is that they saw, they show that he's dead. Only two of the bank robbers survive. Everybody else dies, and basically it's like they were forced to kill themselves, right? And it were a weird movie because there was no point to it. Because what I was thinking when I watched the film, I was thinking, right, James Franco's going to be the guy who killed everybody in the bank back then, but actually no, he was the guy on the phone who phoned police on the old bank robbery, and the killer shot him in the head. And I'm just thinking, what is that film? That I was after I watched it, I was like, that was terrible. That's an hour of my life I will never get back. It's on Netflix. It was bad. I was just
I've seen
thinking,
a lot of movies that will probably not be worth.
it was useless. There was no point to the film. Like every person who died in the old bank was like a monster demon, killing everybody else. The killer who killed them was there, is one of them as well. And then these two other bank robbers survive, but then end up getting probably killed at the end anyway, I think. The guy, James Franco's character, turned out to be the guy on the phone who died, and apparently he does it to help the bank robbers get down into the old bank so they can die. That's basically his job in this whole scenario. And I'm just like, what? What? There's no point of this film. There was no point. No point to this whole goddamn movie. At all.
Hmm.
Uh, you gotta love horrors that don't give any exposition to what is going on.
Well,
Um,
I honestly I'm kind of sick of having exposition dumps in my
yeah.
movies. There's so much tell and not show these days that it's getting kind of annoying. I mean, instead of just telling us about all these things that happened prior or stuff like that, then show us
Hmm.
what happens instead of just taking a huge ass.
Yeah. That's what flashbacks are for.
Yeah,
This is what flashbacks are for, people. But obviously, you've got to count on they have to have minimal, like, they have time constraints with films. I think,
yeah, but still,
yeah, a film can't go past 3 hours. Like, a film has to be like, if it's going to be 3 hours, it has to be 3 hours. You can't go over that. I think you can't. Like, I would never. I won't watch a 10-hour movie. Could you imagine watching a 10-hour film? I
if
couldn't.
it's good,
I
then
couldn't.
sure thing, I would
I'd
watch
get
it.
bored. That'd probably be biggest bored. The thing is, with
If
any
the
media,
movie's good, then I would not mind sitting around hours and actually
that's the
watching it.
point. That's my whole point. Is that like books, games, movies, what have you, they have a thing that they have to stand by. You've got to do your beginning, middle, and end. You can't do that when a film is really goddamn long. You just can't. Um, but horror is one of those. I think
Let's go
horror
for a movie.
horror is one of those. I don't know why it's my favorite genre. I don't know why, because I would.
That's actually a pretty hard question to
It
define.
is.
I don't know why horror games are my most favorite games. I play other games too, but
Have you ever seen Blair Witch?
yeah, I've seen Blair Witch.
E3,
It started.
E3,
It
the
started
E3,
whole
yeah,
craze about having these
yeah.
handheld. The Cloverfield
Cloverfield was good.
paradox.
Yeah, Cloverfield Paradox was okay. It was fine. Cloverfield Paradox is good only in the way that it explains things that people have been wondering about Cloverfield for ages. It's the only reason it's good, is that it explains why every Cloverfield film is in the same universe but with different like monsters. Because 10 Cloverfield Lane, you've got 10 Cloverfield Lane, you've got Cloverfield, then you've got 10 Cloverfield Lane, then you've got Cloverfield Paradox. 10 Cloverfield Lane and the first 10 Cloverfield film are actually in two different universes as each other. Cause in
Yeah, I
in Cloverfield Paradox, basically what happened was in Cloverfield Paradox, it announces that there is a multiverse, that there are different universes, and what they do is that they announce is that 10 Cloverfield Lane and Cloverfield Paradox, and Cloverfield are in different universes to each other. That's why they're called Cloverfield, but they're in same like universe, movie universe, but in two separate Earths as each other.
yeah
But
I've
but
never been a big fan of the whole
Cloverfield
thing
Lane
around.
10 Cloverfield Lane ends. I mean, 10 Cloverfield Paradox ends. 10 Cloverfield Lane's got aliens. 10 Cloverfield Lane's got aliens, but Cloverfield has a big giant monster. Cloverfield has at the end Paradox, when this woman's got a parachute and she's coming to Earth, you see the monster from you see the monster from Cloverfield come out of the sky, out of the clouds, but people have been speculating that that's not the same monster as the one we saw in the first movie. That it's actually a different universe. That this one's a different monster to the original, but I don't think it is. I think it's the same universe. I think when the woman parachuted back, it's when they nuked the city, but the monster didn't die. So at the end of the film, you do hear him like on camera at the end. He's not dead. Because in that film, it's actually a baby. But yeah, like back to Blair Witch. They're making a Blair Witch video game that they announced at E3 this year.
E3. It looks kind of cool. It is the.
A lot
It
of
is.
people were saying it's going to be Outlast.
Yeah.
A lot of people just went, "Oh, it's going to be another Outlast game," and then when you saw that little Wicker like logo and Blair Witch, I was stumped. I was just like, "What?" I was like, "Making what? You're making a Blair Witch game? What?" I was just like, "Okay, that's fine, I guess."
I I'm actually quite
I'm
interested because
interested.
it is Blobber Team after all.
They said there
They
is
made.
combat. They said there is combat in this game, but
Yeah.
how that's going to be
Blobber Team is
enforced?
the one who made Layers of Fear 1 and 2.
Yeah, I've seen your gameplay of that actually.
Just finished.
I've seen you play
It
it.
is. It's pretty good.
Mm.
second one was not as good as the first one. The second one had too much focus on the monster.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
In the first one, you hardly even had a monster. It was a wife up every now and then, and the little
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
They weren't like actively chasing you or trying to kill you in that manner. It was the same with. I actually prefer that towards just
Yeah.
monsters kill you for some reason. I do prefer the subtle tone
Mm.
because it didn't rely heavily on more or less anything other than the ambience and the layout, or what do you
Yeah.
want to call it, and
Yeah.
that works a lot better for me. Narrative a lot more than, oh no, you're being chased by this spoopy dude, run away, run away.
Hmm.
I think that's the reason why I stopped. What was that move? What was that game that everybody was? I can't remember what it was called. I have it on Steam.
Yeah, but I get what you mean. Have you seen Brightburn, the Superman horror film?
No, I have not.
I have, and it's really good. they're
Okay.
thinking about doing it as a thing now, where they're going to do an evil Aquaman and evil Wonder Woman type thing as well, and they might
Oh,
do,
great!
and
More
they might.
superhero.
It's not superheroes. It's just versions of them if they were evil. Brightburn was great and R-rated as hell. There's an idea for a sequel where there's going to be this girl who the kid Brightburn was in like the kid. Well, his name's Brightburn. They named him after his town, and basically, apparently, it's going to be like that. Uh, this girl he liked and killed the mother of is basically gonna like he broke her arm, and apparently she's gonna come back with a rubber arm for revenge. But they were gonna do that in this one in the first film, but apparently I've heard that it might be in the sequel instead. So
Huh.
they're on about doing a sequel to Brightburn, and then they're on about doing all these other sequels as well, which I think would be a really cool idea. I think Brightburn. I think they can do their own like even like a horror Batman would be good. But
Well, they kind of.
because there have been,
Watched any of the animated series?
I've heard that someone wants to do an evil Batman horror Batman movie.
Huh. Oh yeah, the game's called The Dark Occult now.
Oh, okay,
That was everybody was hyping it up so much, and when I got around to play it, it was like
it wasn't good.
these horror games on Steam
Yeah,
that are greenlit for some reason that go
yeah,
for. And this should have been one of those games.
yeah. Well, I think we've run out of time. Actually, we've been an hour.
Oh, it's been an
uh,
hour already.
it's been an hour.
Well, I'll be darned if we aren't.
Well, um, I'll try and plan another podcast and probably might get you on again. If
Maybe we could get like more people on as
yeah,
well.
you're my only guest. I can probably get you on me and my friend's podcast as a guest. Because he's my co-podcaster on this other podcast we do. I can probably get you to be on that with us as well. Um, but I'm not sure. I'll talk to him. It's a separate podcast. This one's horror. That one's talking about video games and all this other stuff.
Part two.
Because we did
Sounds fun.
an E3 podcast. We did two parts for an E3 podcast together, and that were our first one. We haven't done an episode since. But I'm running 2 podcasts at the same time, so gotta prioritize. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I've been your host Slasher. That's been my guest Twiggy the Tree, and go his channel will be linked down below, and you can go and check him out. And he's also linked on my main channel page as well on Awesome Channels. Go and check him out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, keep watching horror and keep on slashing. I'll see you in the next one.